Hello, Teacher Brianna here to talk with you in a short clip about a very important VIPKID technique. Today we are going to talk about pronunciation correction, which is critical in a VIPKID class. Parents expect you to correct every error the student makes in a positive way and also in a way that helps the student understand the error and correct it for next time. So today I'm going to go over a few techniques that you can use to help correct a student's pronunciation errors. So let's get started. In the actual classroom, you will be able to use your mouse to circle and draw on the screen. So when a student reads a sentence like this one. This is a level 2 sentence. These are books. Close. These are books. The plural S sound is very common for a student to leave off in the sentence. So when they leave off a plural S sound, I will usually underline it and emphasize just the S sound. The problem with putting your finger here, these are books, is that the student won't know which sound they missed. So I will read the sentence, these are books, and really emphasize that S sound. That's one technique for a missing sound. So underlining and emphasizing just that sound. If the student missed two S sounds, which happens a lot for this sentence, I find, they often miss this S sound in these. So they say, thee are book. So you need to really help them with this S sound. So I will emphasize, these are books, and use my finger for the two S sounds. And then I will underline the S and go, these. And we'll read it again. These are books. That often helps students. Now, another thing they tend to leave out are articles. So in a sentence like, this is a book, there are several ways to correct that missing article. So you can circle the letter A on the screen, and you can count on your fingers. This is a book. Again, sometimes counting on your fingers doesn't help the student know which word they missed. So circling that missing word might help on the screen. And also, this is a book. So that way they know which letter or word they missed. Sometimes for older level lessons, the student reads very quickly and will mix and match some of their words. Some common words that they misread are for, or, and from. So this sentence here, I am from China. So if a student read this, I am for China, I would, in my classes, if the student is an older student, this is a level 4 lesson, I will circle the word and ask them, what is this word? And then they usually will be able to tell me on its own. And if I have time, I'll ask them to reread the sentence. So they'll reread it correctly. That is one way I correct with the older students. Often I like to ask them to pick out their mistake because usually they have the capability to do it. Of course, you would have needed to have a very strong introduction with several rapport building questions to know if the student is most likely capable of fixing their own errors to an extent. So if it's a word that is not a sight word like from, if it's a more complicated word like memories, that's also in level 4, that they were not able to read, I would read it first. Memories. And sometimes you can clap the syllables. Memories. That's another way to help a student with pronunciation. And then I will extend by asking, do you know memories? And if they don't know the word, I'll do my best to help them understand it, because that's part of the extension and the understanding that we want at those higher level 4 and 5 lessons. So you want to help the student understand what they're reading in addition to pronounce it. But if they understand it, they're more likely to be able to read it correctly later. So some tips here: circle or underline on the screen the missing word or sound. Also, pointing to your mouth for just the sound or the word. Counting words on your finger and emphasizing the one that was missing. Asking the student to read the circled word at higher level lessons and possibly tell you the meaning of more complicated words. These are all ways to help a student with pronunciation and grammar errors. Now, for grammar errors related to is and are, this is also very common at both levels, lower and higher levels. For the lower levels, you can circle. Let's say there's one bed on the screen, but they said these are. You can circle it and say, how many beds do you see? And they're going to say one. So one. This is one. You can use your whiteboard to have it already labeled for this is equals 1. And then if it's these are, you can ask them and they can say 2 or 3, and you can say these are. So that will help the student understand. For an older student, typically they mix-match their grammar as far as tenses. So they'll say, I go to school, when it should be I went. So you'll ask something like, when did you go to school? Today, this morning. Is that right now? I often ask my students those types of questions when they're able to perform at that level. So sometimes, though, they can't, and you have to help them. So you give them the sentence, I went to school today. It really depends on the student level. So I'll try and put together a very short clip on how to determine a student's level in your introduction or in the very early stages of your lesson to help you be better prepared to help them with these pronunciation corrections through understanding their level. Because at the higher level, it's much more helpful for the student to correct and answer their own questions and thoughts in their own words without repeating after you. Repeating after you is not the best way for them to learn because they have the abilities. So that's it for pronunciation and grammar correction for today. It was just a short clip as promised. I'll hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye.